on the planet Earth. Here's Steve.
Thank you very much. Plus, one of the luckiest men on planet Earth. A cell phone saved that guy from a bullet. We'll tell you where the cell phone was and how it saved his life. Terry Wimbley 2 days ago wrote in, oh no, what happened? I'm riding my riding lawnmower and it feels like I just got a rock in the chest. That's what a guy who you're going to meet in this hour is going to tell us. Turns out when he looked down at he took off his shirt and realized, wait a minute, on my cell phone there's a .45 slug. Somebody shot this guy, probably from the woods over by his house. There's the Motorola Razr phone that stopped it. This guy never, ever, that's the guy right there, never kept the cell phone in one particular place until that trip on the riding lawnmower. Find out why he changed the spot and how it saved his life, coming up.
In our most star-studded pundit.
Let's talk a little bit about this. We don't have to speculate. We know that hey, look, there's a bullet in my cell phone. You're going to meet a guy coming up very shortly by the name of Ronald Richard down in Louisiana. That's a .45 slug that slugged into his Motorola Razr phone. He was out on the tractor, find out what saved his life. Actually, it was happenstance that that phone was in that particular spot. It's quite a story, and it's coming up this half hour right here on America's favorite morning show. Thanks to you.
All right, our kid on TV. You know, is that all right?
I was just wondering why he didn't cover this area and this area at the same time, but it seems to be a male instinct to do this.
Yeah, it goes back to the days in caves, running away from woolly mammoths.
This up here, this is only your nose.
Right. That can be fixed.
I get it, guys, even though I can't relate. Let's move on to our next fascinating story. Cell phones can take pictures, they can surf the web, but did you think they could stop a speeding bullet? Our next guest found out they definitely can, but he found out the hard way. Ronald R.J. Richard was riding his tractor last weekend when he felt a sharp pain in his chest. We'll let him tell you the rest of the story. Good morning to you, R.J.
Hey, good morning, Gretchen. How are you?
I'm great. I see you are wearing the exact same overalls that you had on that day. Show me the damage that happened to the overalls.
The damage wasn't the overalls. My overalls was given to me when we moved out there to the country in September 2000, and I used to hook the cell phone there back then, but it kept falling off, and I had to go find it in the yard. And from then I was hooking it down here so that if it came unhooked, it would fall in the pocket. But for some reason, this past Saturday morning, I hooked it right here again, not even thinking. I don't even know why I hooked it there. And I had this sweatshirt over it because it was our first chilly day down here. And got on my John Deere riding tractor and riding lawnmower. And I'm got the blades going and I'm cutting grass. And over on the carport, I see a squirrel-proof bird feeder, that I had scraped the rust off and was going to go prime to honeydew for my wife, know. And so I was turning to go over there to pick it up before I forget again, and got the cell phone and the sweatshirt on, and all of a sudden something hit me right here, and I thought, well, God, how could something pop up from the lawnmower and hit me in the chest? It's the only thing I can think of.
And it turns out, it turns out, RJ, it was a bullet, and perhaps coming from the woods near your house, but your cell phone placed right there on the front of your sweatshirt and your bib overalls, you put it in that place for the first time in a long time. It saved your life, right?
Exactly.
You're a lucky man.
The angle that the bullet came in, and thankfully it was on its last leg, if the people who are knowledgeable tell me if the cell phone wouldn't have been there, I'd be dead. So.
Well, RJ, who wants to shoot you?
Nobody.
Well, what will they do? Are they hunters?
Oh, in this wooded area back behind our house, we have always heard shooting back there and really never thought much of it. Yeah. And I mean, I'm a pro-gun person myself. I just came public with it to get the message out that when you pull a trigger, you got to know where that bullet's going.
Yeah. Well, RJ, we're so glad that you are safe and sound, and we really appreciate you sharing your unbelievable story with us this morning. Take care. Have a great weekend.
Okay, thank you.
Good luck
God
priming
sure
your.
Bless me.
Good luck priming your honeydew bird feeder.
Yeah, you better get on
It's a honeydew for his wife. All right, his life inspired the movie The Pursuit of Happiness. Did you see that one?
Is thanking his lucky stars after surviving a gunshot to the chest. Coming up, hear the amazing story of how his cell phone saved his life without even making a call.
And it looks like we're in for another chilly night tonight.
Phone saved his life.
He didn't use it to make a call. Rather, the phone itself stopped a bullet. It happened Saturday on Lee Road, north of Covington. North Shore Bureau Chief Doug Mouton has the amazing story.
It was in geophysics.
It was a typical Saturday afternoon for R.J. Richard on his riding mower. He's not sure why, but he clipped his cell phone in its case to the front of his overalls, over his heart.
All of a sudden, something hits me in the chest, and I'm not thinking bullet. I'm thinking, hey, how could something pop up from the lawnmower and hit me? That's the only thing I could think of.
He says it felt like a punch in the chest.
And I had a sweatshirt on, and so I stopped and I lifted up the sweatshirt, took off the cell phone to check it to see if it was damaged, you know, and this bullet falls out, and like, wow.
This is the .45 caliber bullet, and this is the life-saving and now dented cell phone.
To have such an impact at such a vital location and be saved by your cell phone, I'm sure has given him time for pause and to be thankful.
Sheriff Jack Strain says shooting guns in the area around the Richards' home is not unusual. Around a quarter of a mile from the Richards' house, in the direction the bullet came from, is this makeshift recreational area, which has four-wheeler tracks. The Richards say they frequently heard gunshots coming from this area.
We have no reason to believe that there was any type of criminal intent, that this truly was just an incident where someone discharged his weapon, whether it was target practicing or hunting.
Buddy says if you fire a weapon anywhere, you are criminally and civilly responsible for where that bullet comes down.
You just appreciate everything so much more and how fragile life really is.
Mindy Richard showed us the bullet hole in her husband's sweatshirt. And if the cell phone hadn't been under that hole,
he would not be here, you know. He would not be with us.
I'm just so grateful and thankful. It just wasn't my time.
North of Covington, Doug Mouton, Channel 4 Eyewitness News.
Investigators say the bullet had traveled a long way and may have been on its way down.